Hi. So, my first reaction is just like when I looked at your profile, it was like, wow,
Which
like
one?
was it
The
changing
Changing Promise or Ayana?
changing promise?
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow, like she's really like I was inspired. I was like, she has a lot of different titles. Like, of course, like I definitely would want you to come on the show. Black Girl Magic.
I love it. I'm excited. I was like, oh, I love this type of stuff because honestly, it has to deal with for me, for I'm just gonna say just for me. I'm a big crybaby, so excuse me.
It's okay. It's okay.
um
Well, I might be crying in here too because the stuff that I've seen, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good one.
it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. For me, it's more of stepping in as women. We need to step into who we are and stop taking the back burner and doubting ourselves and what we're supposed to do and our purpose also. Um, I know for years I was married for 15 years. And so being a wife and being a friend and being a mom and all of that stuff, I wanted to make sure as a woman, because we are nurturers, we automatically want to have this type of not cope, but like the safety cloth and the safety net around everyone that we love and we inspire and we want to push them into who they are um, without causing ourselves damage. But in the end, we end up causing ourselves damage because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing
Exactly.
to encourage those that we are covering and protecting and doing all of that. So that is one of the things for me that I enjoy pushing women to do, and men also, but mostly women,
Right.
because of our natural God-given gift of being nurturers. And man's God-given gift is to be a protector and a provider, and to chase us and to do all these things and allow us to be in our feminine state and for them to be in their masculine state. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, like just all the things. So yes,
just
like
all the
that's
things.
really definition of Black Girl Magic. So
Yeah.
I just want to introduce you like the right way because this is a big thing for me. So do is it promise? Is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
this is how it's pronounced. It's
Okay,
promise,
I was
but
just
it's
making
promise
sure.
in French. It's promise, but it's
Okay,
pronounced
so I
promise.
saw both, but I was like, well, I have to come correct on how to
Girl,
pronounce her
listen, because I
name.
go by both views, and literally I'll be in the store or somewhere and somebody say, yeah, promise. I'll be like, huh? What? Oh no, they're not talking to me. Okay,
Okay.
never mind.
So yes, I have to introduce you the right way. So Promise, she's an actor, an entrepreneur, and a life transformation coach. Doing all the things, just determined to empower everyone that she meets first by understanding that, this healing journey
Yes,
starts from within.
yes,
And you're
amen.
definitely in the right space because that's what we're all about for what she goes through. And it truly would be just an honor to have you speaking into us today. So I just wanted to introduce you the right way.
Hey.
And I just love to just first start off our conversation by just understanding this version of you that showed up today, and I'm just interested to know, like, who are you in this moment?
In this moment, I will say I work every day. Let's just do it like this. Let's just do it like
Right.
that. I always want to be someone better the next day than I was the day before. And that's what we all should want to do. I work hard every day to just be like, okay, did I accomplish something today? Am I better than I was yesterday? Were there any negative experiences today which I could have learned from? Did I pay attention to the people around me? Am I stuck on something that was bad from yesterday? Did I work on my character today? Because we all interact with people, and things come our way which may have triggered something, and us not recognizing it, and our reflection of that trigger, it depends on our response. So this is why we have to check in with ourselves daily. We have to renew our minds daily. We have to set aside time to reflect on our behaviors and create an opportunity to grow and listen to yourself and practice being better. So today I am somebody better than I was yesterday.
Yes. And I just love, I love your share. And that's currently what I've been doing. So I read this book, Atomic Habits, and I've been just like stuck on it, like everything about it. And they talk about how just the things that you were just saying on making that 1% improvement. Each day, no matter what, just that 1%, like you can do that, right?
Yeah.
Then it's still a gradual increase, and you
Yes.
want to be able to make those little those tiny habits, so that in the long run you end up with just so much, rather than just being stagnant and maybe making a 1%, like what is the opposite of improvement? Disapproval.
Decline, okay?
Fine, there we go.
I mean, because we all deserve to be the best version of ourselves, right?
And it feels
And
really good.
right. And it not only reduces our own suffering in the long run, but it also allows us to make positive impact on the people around us. I mean, think about it. What, cell phones, cars, food, all this stuff becomes better. Why shouldn't we? All of these things that have no brain, no mind, no all of this become better. Why shouldn't we? I mean, just think about it. The principle of continuous improvement as the world goes, why shouldn't we do the same and go along with it instead of getting stuck where we were?
Yes. I mean, see, I like thinking deep on stuff. Like, like a question with a question. It's just like, you know what? Why? You are right.
Why?
Let me think about this. Like, why? Like
I mean,
everything else around us is
especially with these stupid cell phones.
right.
You'd be like, I can't even use my iPhone 6 anymore because they've upgraded to what is it now, 13 or something? Why would I stay an
right.
iPhone version of me? And I need to become a 13, and I haven't worked myself to become better and improve myself.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, and I think that that's the trend that we're all striving for. We recognize how important it is. Just even with the pandemic, it opened our eyes to so much, and you realize like how important it is to just really just try to be as best as you can to make that improvement, because like why would you want to be stuck in something that you're not happy, like you don't feel as good as you can, like that shows up in different parts of my life in terms of like relationships and career wise. I decided to jump out and do this thing on my own, and it gives me so much reward. Now I get to talk to like women like you, and then like I saw your, like I told you before, I saw your title. I'm like, oh, like I gotta know what I'm talking about, right? So we can have a really good conversation, like. So I just love your share. And this is why I asked that question, because it forces us to, really think about who we are today, and just not yesterday, or like who we want to be in the future, but like who am I now? So I ask this question daily, because each day, we get that choice on how we want to show up. And I love that, I get these conversations and just, being with amazing people that continue to challenge me. And now I'm look back at the question that you just said. Like usually I'm writing stuff down, but I'm gonna go back and really ask these questions, like or answer these questions because they're important, So, and just talking about who you are, and can you share a little bit about your personal life journey, and like what challenges that you had to grow through before and during like your transition into a life coach? Because a life coach is just
It's a lot.
that's a big thing.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot taking on people. Okay, I'll say this. Let's start with um,
I
the
know it's
why.
so much,
Oh,
right?
why?
Like,
Start with the why. Okay.
okay.
And part of being, I've learned over time and growing up because my parents and my family, my background is super open. So let's just say I come from a background with 103 grandkids. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So there's a lot of everything going on in my background, and we
Yeah, a
are a
big family.
very right. We are a very big and open family. Um, we've always been taught that if there's something going on, come to one of us or come to someone that is older than you that has more wisdom within our own family because at the end of the day, we're all growing and you don't ever want to be stuck with the people that are in the same crowd or same going on the same life journey as you because none of you know anything. None of you know anything. All of you guys are sitting in the same pod looking stupid together. Okay. So let's ask some people that have actually grown and been through some things. So being open and honest about who we are as a family or that individual or what they might have been through. And if they don't know, they pass you on to somebody else who might have that has also
Right.
shared their story. Um, so that comes into the part of knowing and discovering who you are. And that's a part of, should I say, okay, so I do Tantra also, right? So I teach
Listen, that's
people
already gonna be a question because I'm at
all about
the
that.
beginning. I'm at the beginning phases of it, but I'm like, wow, like I'm yes, okay,
And that's a part of the why. Because
okay.
so a lot of people think that it's all about the 103 grandkids, a whole bunch of humping. It's not. Tantra's not about that. A whole bunch of humping and all of that. No, no. In short, um, I tell my clients it's a practice
Mhm.
and it's become far more to become far more in tune with who you are within yourself and your body. And then you'll start being more aware of the emotions and the pleasures and how you react to things once you become
Yeah.
more in touch with who you are on an impersonal part, on an
Mhm.
inside part. And because of that, you'll be able to better suit and fulfill your own needs. And in essence, it's about building a better relationship within yourself intimately and a sacred one.
Mhm.
And that closeness will transfer into sharing it with somebody who will be your partner. And Tantra is about learning the use of your body and your mind and your spirit and just not just within one step, but it's a stepping stone, should I say, to discovering you. Um, who I who I am is a part of that because it's a question that echoes with everyone in various seasons in life, right? Because we're born, we're given a name, and we're taught to live, to speak, tie your shoes. We pick up habits, we go to school. Some go to college, and this helps, the chart our way through our future. Um, for what's next to come. And some it may be marriage and family and all that. And then the cycle begins and it ends and it happens and you have children and they go through this whole cycle. And then we create memories that we relive and we remember these stories and tell others and our family and it almost like it never dies. But um, life teaches us through experience and it asks you in that to seek within yourself. It also asks you who you are and what motivates you. And you ponder on the answer, and we start questioning things that happened in the past or what we might have perceived or our basic understandings of the world. As again, we were born and we were taught and we went through all these things in schooling, but on certain days, just as anyone, our mind may drift. And when silence ceases and the burning question is still in the back of our mind, like, who am I? If I removed all the things, all the people, all the experiences, all these accomplishments and things in this world, who would I be? Who would I be? And what would be defined by what will identify us? And as we start exploring these thoughts, and sometimes it may frighten us, and as a mean of defense, we avoid that question altogether. It's like, I don't want to know who I am right now. Right now, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm great, and we just gonna keep on moving to what happens tomorrow. But yet the question remains. But in that, it's just temporarily silenced. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It hasn't gone away. Who you are, none of that. It's just you've just put it on the back burner or put it on the side. It's just temporarily silenced. And discovering who you are and is actually the why and the journey that, for me, I appreciate going along with people on. And
for sure,
as you change your thinking and start taking nothing for granted, we start to grow spiritually, and our decisions get driven by a deeper understanding of ourselves and others also. And the choices that we were given give us a long-term happiness within once we choose to discover exactly who we are and the why behind I'm doing what I'm doing. We gain strength with dealing with the lows, and it's a process. And it's not the ultimate truth nor a sudden enlightenment, but it's a slow discovery. The true power of your destiny is always in our own hands to achieve it, and the need to love ourselves and trust ourselves and walk within the path. And if we do so, and if we believe that within ourselves, I mean, half of the battle is won, because you're like, you know what, no matter what, I have me, and I have those people around me that are cheering me on, and I'm going to get through this. So like one of my aunts that I go to a lot for encouragement, she's always had, I wish I had some, she's always had this pair of hands. And this pair of hands hang on this thing that looks like a hanger. And whenever she wanted to encourage herself, she hung them on the door, and she would literally back up to the door like, good job. I did a good job, patting herself on the back. She'd be just like this, pat herself on the back. Oh, I did a good job. Okay, good job. Right. And keep going, because not everybody has a cheerleader. Not everybody comes from a background with cheerleaders. Not everybody has people around them to encourage them or know how to encourage, you know? And as this journey that we embark on, and through the ups and downs and these roads, and some are smooth and some aren't, and with time, we can walk on any path, because the path now no more defines you, but you define the path once you start discovering exactly who you are.
Yes. So I just love everything that you said, like just digging deep into, like, you know, your explanation of who you are and how you are able to have this growth mindset, like to be able to empower other women. But I want to know, like, how were you able to get to that point? Like, if there's like something that you can think of where you were able, where you had to use these skills to get through, like something like where instead of going through or thinking like in that fixed mindset, like, you know, all these things happen to me, but being able to really in the moment recognize that this is what I'm going to do. I said, this is who I am. So this is how I'm going to show up or get through this current obstacle. Was there something that, like, you know, you can share that so that someone who's listening, you know, maybe when they're going through certain things, they can think of, all right, this is how I can get through this. if that makes sense,
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense. So I like to use for me, I've always been that friend, that sister, that cousin, whatever the case may be. I've always liked to use like real life experiences.
mhm.
And you never go through anything for yourself. You never do anything for yourself. You always go through something for somebody else. And to share that experience with them, no matter if it's for them to take that story and go share with somebody else, or them to actually implement it in their life, and also eat the fish and throw away the bones, eat what's good for them, and then throw away the rest that they might not be able to use. Um, so for me, I'll tell you a story about a young leader
Okay.
who, despite
Your
having
story's you.
every, huh?
You said young leader. So, just always been a leader. I just want to follow the story correctly.
Yeah, just follow me down this rabbit hole.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. She's a young leader who, despite having every reason to give up on life and cripple her life and self-doubt and all of that, she learned to spread life and hope within the world. And um, she was, let's see. So she was 12 years old, and she spent most of her life in the hospital. She played with stuffed animals and created characters and drawings, and she was scared, but she never told anyone. She tried, um, and she became tired, and her body began to give up. And at 12 years old, she was faced with more health complications than any 70-year-old will ever face. Okay. And every day her family was saying, Lord, thank you for another day. And today's going to be a new day. And today, no matter what, we'll make it through. But through the years of growing up and sharing her story with others, this young lady was able to be on various platforms and the news and all kind of stuff. But she knew what her purpose was, and she knew that going through everything that she had went through, it impacted others, but she didn't know how long she was going to be on this earth. And in 2015, she had her second heart transplant. Okay, she had one, then she had another. And she became the only child who received 2 transplants within 24 hours, which made it her 3rd transplant and her 4th heart. And in her case, this was unheard of, and it became a certified miracle. And looking back, it was beyond a miracle. It was a case of supernatural, overwhelming power of the mind and the willpower of I will survive in spite of. And did she make an impact on the world? Absolutely, because she survived 3 transplants, and within that, meaning she had 4, so she was born with 1 and had 3 other people. Um, did her impact and her testimony and things that she went through helped others in the community despite her odds? Yeah, absolutely it did. The hope that she brought to others was a critical ingredient for her fighting through every day. And the element of being able to overcome self-doubt and keep going in spite of what it looked like is something that a lot of us need to dig deep and remember, because in spite of what it looks like and self-doubt, we can keep going. Your thought process about you depends a lot on how much you can achieve when it seems like you're not achieving anything. You got to think about those who have sought out or knowledge and achieve different things from learning from others. Simply put, individuals who thought that they could not get smarter or do X, Y, and Z actually did.
Mhm.
Um, so long story short, I'm using this story about her because she was my daughter. And growing through that and actually seeing her go through that, I had to, like I said, the way my background and my family is set up, I had to um, be that that comforter, that cloth, that that strength for her. But in actuality, she was that for me. So growing through that and helping others in our path that also were going through something and speaking to them and speaking life into them as I spoke it into myself was something that I had to grow and go through to be able to be where I am now. Not ever doubting who I am, not ever doubting the process, not ever doubting or asking why. A lot of people ask why. Why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? Why didn't I get that job? Why didn't I get that husband? Why is my life like this? And then they turn it from influencing or turn it from learning and growing to a storytelling or a mantra about them. And it's never about you. Again, it's never about you. It's about those around you. It's about those who you can impact. It's about those um, whose life may change just by observing you that you'll never know. It's never about you, but everyone else who is around you and not having to deal with the doubt and the fears that come along with dealing with things in life. So having to recognize and being taught just in my natural self and how I was raised, stepping out of me because we have to take time when we grow and become better people. You have to step out of you to grow, to listen to advice, to gain knowledge, to want to be better. You have to step out of you because we get so caught up into, you know what I'm saying? And that's how jealousy arises and all this stuff. When you step out of you, you're choosing to grow. You're choosing to want something better. You're choosing to win, should I say? Um, so growing through that and being inspired by not only my own seed, but my background and those who I had to help along the way and who I'm helping now. That's a journey that I'll never, ever, ever ask God, why me? But I'm thankful that He chose
Wow. Let me just say, like, that is like just really powerful. Just the level of strength. I know you said it's not about you, but like in these moments, like just recognizing how strong that you are as a
me.
mother to have to, you know, take care of this child and breathe life into her so that she can get better with those self doubts. So I know like you had so much like to do with her growth and just you guys together. Like I have a little girl too, and it's just like I couldn't imagine. It's just anything with children because like they're so special.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are, and just even like in today's age, it's just as a mom, just everything switches and you're so worried about them. And then to have something like that and just, I couldn't imagine. And I just want to just take this time to just commend you, like to
Oh,
being able to grow through that situation, you and your daughter, like, and it just proves on how precious life is and how precious it is for us to just continue to just be the best that we can. And I know that that's what you were talking about, on just being the highest version of yourself, striving to be that, and putting just being in those situations. You have no choice but to really dig deep inside of you, and figuring out who you are and how you want to show up and how you want to provide for your little girl in these moments. Like, both of you guys are evolving and growing together. So
Yes.
that story is just so inspiring, and I love the curveball, like, because I'm over here like, yeah, this is her. And then you just said it was your daughter. I'm like, oh my, like my heart, like, and I'm emotional too. So
You
I'm
know what?
trying to keep it together
It's
too.
funny because as people, we don't realize that sometimes we get stuck in a negative emotional replay, and just thinking about um, you're reacting as you naturally could to a situation. But if we understand that our emotions response actually influence the way we look at life and the way we act and how fast or slow we move on from our past, we would be like, what the hell? Excuse me.
I mean, it's okay. I cuss all the
But
time, like, and I'm not taking it out.
sorry.
I mean, you just
But
feel it in your spirit, like how it be, like.
but you got to think of it like this: your emotions are like a muscle. Okay,
Yep.
you can train yourself to feel frustrated or stressed after a situation arises, or you can condition yourself to feel joyful or feel strong. When you take charge of your emotions, you can learn how to manage them and let go of the past in a way that makes you feel free instead of like you're in bondage.
Yes,
Um,
embracing that, like being able to embrace your story. And so many people are afraid of telling their story because they don't think that other people have went through certain situations. Like, oh, nobody will understand. But realizing that we all have so many different similarities, those emotions, right? We experience it in different ways, but we all have those emotions: sadness, fear, all of these things. But I read, they were talking about like how fear and excitement are basically the same thing, is based on your breath, like how you breathe that in. And I know you understand. I don't
yes.
even know how to really explain it, but just knowing that, like, with certain situations that we do, like being afraid versus being excited. I know there are certain situations that I was able to like switch that around. I'm always afraid, but just knowing that, all right, taking deep breaths, and then be like getting excited and recognizing, like, having the opportunity to have these kind of emotions, because it's helping you to continue to blossom,
Mm-hmm.
basically, so I just love all the things that you were saying. And just up until this point, I understand your why even more, on why you're showing up like this, and how you're able to use these different titles. So it's just, it's nice to be able to uncover that, like, for myself, instead of like asking. So I just want to just let you know that I definitely can just understand all the things that you're saying, and just pouring into me. And I know just pouring into whoever's listening, that like we can just continue to grow and to just continue to nourish ourselves. Like, that's important, continuing
Mm-hmm.
to learn these different resources, and talking about what really, how we really feel. Like, we don't have to be okay. We, like we said, the emotions, like sometimes we're going to have those negative emotions, and it's okay to feel those. But then we have to take these other coping skills and other nutrients that other people have helped us in
Mm-hmm.
being able to just continue to grow. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, you got that a little bit, because I go off tangents, like,
Yeah, no, no,
it's
no,
been
you're
in
good. You're
my
good.
head, but
I
I
know
don't
what
know
you
if
got.
it
I understand exactly what you're saying because when
okay.
you were talking, I just was thinking about the old song, the Lamb Chop song. How's it go? This is the song that does it, because it goes on and on, my friend. Right.
Yes.
So people start singing it, and they keep going back and forth and keep going, and the song literally doesn't end until somebody shuts up, right?
Right.
But nothing, to what you were saying, nothing is going to change if you're one of those type of people who can't let stuff go, because you need something to solve, because there are those type of people too. The sooner that we accept that life is sometimes unfair, the sooner we'll be able to let go, because we learn that we can't change every situation and the past has already happened. Simply put, don't be a cow. Okay. You know how cows appear to continuously be chewing. You know, you've seen commercials, all kind of stuff. The cow just,
I never noticed. Like, now I'm gonna be thinking about it.
You're at the farm. What's the cow doing? Okay. This is because a cow will regurgitate previously consumed food and eat it a second time. Okay. If you really move on from something, you don't need to remind yourself of anyone or something else that happened. What we are able to change in the future is by choice.
Yes.
It's don't become a cow.
Right. Use that as a graphic, like,
Okay. Don't become a cow.
Don't become a cow. Yes, I definitely love that. Now, I know you can appreciate my next question, and it's basically going off of just all the dope things that you already said. So just wanting to know, like, your interpretation of what does what she grows through mean to you, and how it aligns with your reflection of your journey.
Let's see. It is on the line. My interpretation of it is become a new you. Because what she grows through means that you are shedding old skin. You are choosing to take off. You're choosing to put on. You're choosing to learn. You're choosing to show up. You're making a choice every day to grow and become a better version of you. Because if you don't go through nothing, you can't grow. If you're not choosing to learn from it, you can't grow. You can't just. But what happened? What did I say? You're born, you're taught, you do all this, And in those stages of life, there are different seasons. And whatever season that you are in, if you are choosing to show up and accept whatever that season has to offer you, you are going to grow through it. And in that mantra, and in your statement, and in what you are pushing, and in what your vision is to help other people and help other women and help, as today, as this, should I say, you have a daughter, so your legacy that you are passing on to her and being an example. So for teen moms that I mentor, I always ask them this question before we even start, before I get to beating their heads in with what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing, and we're not doing that, we're not doing this, is what is your movie going to show? Each day you're a movie. You're a mom. You're a movie. Your child is watching a movie, you, every day. What do you want your movie to show? What do you want your baby to pick up on? You have the right to write, to rewrite, do a sequel, do whatever it is. What do you want your movie to
remix?
The remix, all of that, okay? Spoofs, everything. What do you want your movie to show? So what she grows through is determining on what your next movie should be, or what your next scene should be, or what the plot is going to be, what the twist is, what new characters you're going to ask. That's exactly what it is.
I love it. Yeah. So I'm excited because now I'm like, what is gonna be like? I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. Like, yeah,
Come
and
on,
beautiful
girl.
if you're listening, like you think about it too. Like, what is your movie? Like, is it gonna be like a drama or a
Yeah.
romance, suspense, thriller? Hopefully, I don't know. If y'all, not me, I can't. But that's a good question. Yes. So I guess my last, or no, it's not my last, second to last question. Like, do you have any advice for other Black women? So, like, currently being at this journey of being the best or getting to the highest version of myself. I know that other people are listening. So, would you have any advice on what their next steps like could be, or just
I
you
would
talked about
say,
starting that healing from within. Like we know that's the first step, or maybe even
uh-huh.
acknowledging that it's from within. But like, what do we do like afterwards? Like, how can we continue to climb this ladder of being our highest self?
I would say when you're feeling stuck or not feeling motivated,
Mhm.
ask yourself this. Why would I give up today and tomorrow might be the day I win? Straight up. Look yourself in the mirror and be like, look, why am I feeling like this? Why would I give up today and tomorrow might be the day that I win? Because every journey is initiated by a single step. Many of us are on a journey of life and are on a particular path because of one action that we actually took that brought us here. And life is a demanding journey, don't get me wrong, but more than
Right.
often, it demands an effort that might seem or exceed our own abilities that we have limited ourselves to use. Without caring for our weaknesses and how we feel, sometimes this thing called life places us with overwhelming obstacles in our path to succeed. But life also rewards us with those who are willing to push themselves regardless of the limits that are presented to them. So no matter how many times you fail or get exhausted, you might be like, listen, just be like, my win is near. My win is near. Don't rely on old energy, old hopes, old habits, old anything, anything old and expired. Okay. Anything worthwhile, it does take time. It requires some renewing of the mind, sacrifice, dedication. Um, we're never meant to. God didn't create us to stand still. Okay. But instead to explore and find ways to have a new outcome and to overcome. And again, it all begins with a single step. So for me, I know I had to put a pause on everything that happened just to reinvent myself. And it's okay. I always tell people, be gentle. Be gentle with who you are. Be gentle with you. And it's
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Be gentle. And just be gentle with yourself. But I also tell everyone that on any journey of great significance, it requires a starting point. So just like a huge oak tree, big oak tree outside that lasts is around for thousands of years, it evolves from a seed. So as long as you take the action and get started, and if you haven't started, start right now, okay? And take the
Right.
small step towards um, arriving and another one, and you're getting closer and closer to the point where your dreams await. So that's what I would say.
Yes. And then as you continue to take that one step, as you continue to nurture yourself. Like as you continue to water this seed, like it starts to bloom, and then you see like these little buds that's popping up, and it's encouraging you to just continue on. Like, like I wonder how
I
big
could do
it
this.
can grow. Like
This
I
is all
wonder if
right.
it's going to do this. Like, and then now like you start seeing like little flowers and stuff come in, and so yeah, like just continuing, and it's a journey. um these
Yes.
trees will be here when we're long gone. So
Right.
just thinking about that, just being able to grow, like what is your tree, what seeds
Yes.
did you plant, and how are you continuing to nourish it so that it can grow into these beautiful different branches that like just sprouts in different areas, like like tantra and speeches, and like like you're just this big old thing.
Right. This tree that has all
Yes,
these limbs and these
yes,
talents
like
and these
all that
gifts and things that
wisdom and leaves, and like what fruit is falling from there that other people are picking up, eating. Like we can always do a metaphor, like.
yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
yes, I absolutely love that, and I just want to thank you for just having this conversation with me. I think it just flowed so easily. That's how I knew that like you were perfect for just coming on the show and just
Oh,
pouring into us and giving us those nutrients that we need, so that we can continue to pour into ourselves and then pour into other people. So I love that for us.
I'm
Like
excited.
for sure. So just the last thing that I have to ask is how can everyone just stay connected with you? How can we know more about you?
Girl, what do you want to know? I know. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of but so if you go on IG, you can go on Ayana's testimony or Change and Promise and find me in either one of those.
Yes, and they're both dope. Like, and I will link all of that information in the show notes and in the description for YouTube and all the things. And
Please do.
yes, like this was great, and I just appreciate you.
I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
too, love. I
Yes,
will be talking with you soon.
yes,
Offline, girl.
right, right, right. And if you're listening, beautiful, you know, I look forward to talking with you again. Until then.